Dr. East Phillips, welcome to the Creativity for Wellbeing Summit.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. I am so excited.
I am excited with this conversation. So, elevate 7 daily habits
Hmm.
to raise your frequency.
Hmm.
Super excited for this. But before we get there, first of all, East versus West. And I had to throw that one in. And how did you get started on this journey of helping people to raise their frequency?
Oh, goodness. I love it. So, my name is East. I didn't make that up. I have a brother named West. That's as far as it went. It was my parents wanted unique names back in the 70s and 80s. So, I start with that because a lot of people think I went to Chinese medical school, and a lot of people think I changed my name when I went to Chinese medical school, which some people did. I did not. That was my given name. So perhaps I was destined to go into Eastern philosophy, Eastern medicine. I was always drawn into it. So, that being said, always being drawn into this world of the unseen and wanting to help other people, I was led by a series of events to Chinese medicine. I studied it here in San Diego and started practicing as early as the year 2000 and then went on to become a professor. That's part of, I guess, my purpose here that I've found out is to be a teacher, share this knowledge and these tools with others to heal themselves. And that's one of the reasons why I love, I would say, more natural based medicines, is because in Chinese medicine and many of the natural alternatives, if you want to call them medicines, if not the original medicines, you were taught how to heal yourself. And I love that. And so I was gravitated towards that. I went on to teach and went on to get my doctorate in medicine. And that was the year 2000, practiced for about 25 years. And what I saw, and I have treated thousands of patients, what organically happened for me on my journey of being not only a practitioner and then also a professor is that people would come to me for advice. Oh, you've done this. You've opened your practice there. You've seen these sorts of cases. Can you help me? How do I run my business? And I do have an undergrad in business because I, like many of us, was projected upon by my family. Like, what
Mhm.
kind of life is Chinese medicine? You need to be a business person. And so I pursued that route, and it has served me. But my real heart and soul is in serving society and helping people live their best lives, to say it simply. So I was doing that for many years as a Chinese medicine practitioner, acupuncture, herbs, nutrition, and then also teaching people how to do it. And then organically, all these practitioners were coming to me for advice. That happened very organic. So teaching courses to practitioners to enhance their treatments, being a supervisor in the clinic and overseeing thousands of treatments there, and then going on to coach tens of thousands of practitioners over the last 10 years. All of that is to say that I've kind of overseen, we're getting 50, 60,000 treatments and healing sessions. And
Mm.
I've seen people heal and transform. And this goes back to your question, why frequency? Because where I stand now in this state of experience is I find that our inner frequency is the strongest medicine. I can give you herbs, I can give you acupuncture, I can do all these things, but the real alchemy comes from within ourselves. And that's when I started to see that even along all those years of using needles and herbs and nutrition, the underlying transformative piece was a person's frequency. If you can shift it, if you can shift the way that their state of being. Now, needles can help. A lot of these things are very temporary, but when somebody learns how to keep their frequency high, then they almost are impervious to these things that bring us down. And that's where I started to get into the frequency work. I would say more, I mean, I was always kind of woven in there. Chinese medicine and a lot of these ancient healing techniques had energy medicine in them. The ancient texts of Chinese medicine are filled with energetic principles, Tai Chi, Qi Gong, those healing practices, the unseen affecting the seen. And then I went on, I studied Reiki, became a Reiki master. So then again, experiencing the unseen, the quantum. And I really believe with every fiber of my being that it is our inner states, it's our belief systems, it's the frequency in which we allow, because we have free will. It's the frequency we allow our mind, body, and spirit to be in on a regular basis. That doesn't mean that you don't get pissed off once in a while. It's how fast you course correct and bring yourself back up to a higher frequency. So, what is a higher frequency? Well, it's a good mood. And we are all affected by it. We are absolutely all affected by it. Imagine, just think about somebody you just love being around them. Well, why do you love being around them? Like, is it something they say? Is it they're giving you gifts? It's like, no, it just feels good being around them because their energy, their frequency is good, is positive. They're not gossiping. They're not talking bad about other people. They're not complaining. Those are all examples of lower frequencies, right? And so we've also been around people who are like, I don't know why, but like people call them energy vampires, the
Mhm.
lower frequencies aren't really great to be around. So knowing all of this, what I have found is when people take radical responsibility for themselves, their frequency, there are things that are going to happen in our lives that we have no control over. We have complete control over how we react, or rather, how we respond. And you're in a better position to respond to life and life's unexpected curveballs when you are coming from a grounded higher frequency than when you're in a chaotic, frenetic, kind of like stressed out. You're not going to respond, you're going to react. And that reaction is going to be just keep you spinning and keep you, sliding downward and all over the place. And so frequency work is powerful. And a lot of times this is semantics. A lot of people, I still don't understand what frequency is. I'll give you an example of frequency work just with a different facade or name on it. Okay. So there is a method called the Sedona method. And the man that created the Sedona method was literally given like 3 months to live. They said, you've got about 3 months to live. Go and get your things in order. He was in upper state New York. And he had lived a very stressed out life. He had a lot of resentments about things. And oh, here's just one more thing that's happening to him. Why me? Why life like this? And he went back to his apartment and he said, I do not want to die. And I need to understand this. So in his apartment, he just sat there and meditated and questioned the meaning of life and where he maybe took a wrong turn. And what was revealed to him in that earnest attempt to understand and again to bring everything inward and take full responsibility for himself. It was Lester Levinston. He said, okay, what did I do? What was my part in all of this? And he realized, man, I just really have a lot of resentments. I have a lot of anger towards people. I haven't forgiven people. I'm not letting go of things. And what if I did? So he literally just started to sit with himself and release all these attachments to being right and anger and righteousness and judgment. And he recovered. He not only recovered and lived a couple more years, he went on for 20, 30 years and taught his process to people. And it's really centered around forgiveness. And really, if you peel the forgiveness away, it's around releasing
Hmm.
because we can forgive everybody in our life. And at the same time, hold on to these limiting beliefs that just don't serve us. Like, oh, all the good guys are taken. There's no good guys out there. It's like, no, you live in San Diego, which is also known as Man Diego. There are 2.3 million, no, there's 3.2 million people in Man Diego. I'm pretty sure you can find one man in Man Diego, right? It's how we look at things. Oh, but somebody hurt me in the past. I'm still holding on to that. You release that. And there is healing inside. That is elevated frequency. It's looking at life as being for you. All of it, everything, the beautiful, the messy, the in between is all here for you, for your growth, for your advancement, for your experience, for your wisdom. And when you look at it like that, miracles can happen. I taught I taught anti-aging, or I like to call it optimal aging, for years. And people, what's the secret? I said, forgiveness. Honestly, the secret to looking younger is to release your grudges,
Mhm.
forgive, and go beyond forgiveness, because forgiveness is really still holds judgment. I'm forgiving you because I'm right, you're wrong, but I'm going to forgive you. You go past forgiveness into neutrality. That's not always so easy. It can be if you can release and look at everything neutrally as an experience. It doesn't mean you prefer that experience, but it is an experience. You have all these different experiences. You get to compare them all and say, woo, I like these. I don't like these. This isn't right. This isn't wrong. This isn't good. This is bad. They're just different experiences. I have a preference towards some, but notice I'm not judging. I'm not making anything or anyone wrong. When you do that, you not only live another 30 years, like if Lester Levinston could reverse a fatal prognosis with this work, imagine what it will do to your aging process, to your life, to your experience of life, to everything. And that's it. And that really is the frequency work. And then ultimately, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun to live in a higher frequency. Just that's it. People are using drugs to get to a higher frequency, not sustainable. But you can get to a sustained state of a higher frequency through what I found, these 7 practices that I teach people. 7 daily practices, don't cost you anything. In fact, in some cases, it'll save you money, some of these practices, right? One of the things, reducing some of your alcohol. Alcohol is expensive. When my husband and I go out for dinner, if we don't have alcohol, we're like, wow, this bill was really inexpensive, right? You add drinks to your dinner, it's like, oh, it's expensive, you know? It's expensive in a lot of ways. Alcohol brings our frequency down. So I'm not here to say, oh, quit all the alcohol, quit all the fun, naughty foods. But what if those are just once in a while versus habitual?
Mhm.
You know, the beautiful book, Tiny Atomic Habits. We become our habits. We do. If you want to look at what you're going to be, look at your habits. And so that is how I got into frequency. I landed there and I love it. I love it. It's because it's almost ever expansive and it's tied to your consciousness, and working in consciousness and expanding that allows us to understand things and really know for ourselves that life is working for us. It's one thing for us to conceptually say, I know life is working for me. I hear you logically, but I just don't feel it or know it in my own being. So the only way you get to that knowing is by removing all the distractions of the outside world and sitting with yourself and your truth, whatever is the higher power that you connect with, God, source, universe, your higher self, angelic realms, cosmic realms, higher deities, whatever it is. If you can spend enough time with that and getting your own truth, you don't need it from anybody else. You don't need validation from anybody else. When you're making a decision, you can say, I need to sit with myself and make this decision, not ask 20 people and get 20 different directions or opinions. And then you're sitting going, now what do I do? Right? It's like knowing how to get the answer from within versus without. And that only comes from doing the work, which means removing the distractions, sitting in silence or meditation or prayer. And that's one of the 7 things that is recommended in the 7 daily habits. So eating healthy, being careful and mindful of what you put into your body, removing mind altering substances, and then 10 minutes. What if you meditated for 10 minutes every day for 50 days? What would that look like? The only way you'll know is if you do it. All right. I remember back when I was in Chinese medical school, I had met many people who had done a Vipassana. Vipassana is 10-day silent retreat. You don't even talk with your eyes. It's like you look down, you eat in silence, you sit in silence, you meditate all day. And it's 10 days of a silent retreat. And I'd met so many people that had done it. And I asked them, how was it? And they said, it was lovely, or it's great, or it's profound. And they just had something. They had something. Their being, just being around them, they had some secret sauce to them. And I knew the only way I was going to get to understand or even have some of that secret sauce was to do it myself. They could tell me what they learned, but I'm not embodying that because I didn't experience it. So I did. I went, and that was one of the most challenging things I've done because I like to talk a lot, is to sit in silence for 10 days straight. And so now, I know what that experience is like. And so for all of these things, as people go out there to become a better version of themselves, and I really believe most everybody wants that. They're looking around and they're watching the podcasts, the summits, the YouTubes, they're reading the books. They got to do it. They got to take action on some of the stuff so they feel it for themselves. They got to do some of the hard things that these mentors that they're learning from did themselves. So meditate for 10 minutes for 50 days straight. What would that look like? Well, I meditate every once in a while. What if it was consistent? It's it's like compounding effect. So eat well, meditate, and then gratitude. That's also part of the Lester Levinston and the Sedona method and many healing practices is to have gratitude. That is a high frequency. Gratitude, if you look at the Hawkins scale, is up there to just be grateful. And it can be over little things. It can be, I'm grateful for my cat. I'm grateful for a roof over my head. I'm grateful for good weather in San Diego. It doesn't have to be profound. You don't have to write, millions of pages about it. It is tethering yourself to what is going right in your life.
Hmm.
And that just amplifies. And I learned a new practice that I want to share here. There's a woman that teaches, she calls it her magic book. And this is a bonus. So I've never shared this yet because I just came across her, but she does this thing called the magic book practice. Every morning she wakes up, she puts on uplifting music, completely uplifting, no songs of breakups and people taking away your favorite things and getting killed, like uplifting music. She listens to uplifting music and she just writes everything that went well the day before. Like what went well? Oh, I didn't wait long in line for coffee. Oh, I got a parking spot. Oh, somebody responded to my email, whatever it is. Like she is looking for more things to put on her piece of paper as she's listening to uplifting music. And that was one way that she raised her frequency. And that's going to be when I run a live version of the program a couple times a year. I'm running one in September, and I'm going to add that as extra credit. Like if you want, you can add, that as another practice to raise your frequency. But just being grateful, just that will raise your frequency because like attracts like. And honestly, I really believe that this reality, this world that we live in is a mirror. So if you're out there saying, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, the universe, God says, okay, here's more grateful. Here's more things to be grateful. But in reverse, if you're like, oh, I never get a good parking spot. Everything's going wrong. The universe goes, okay, here's more of, what's not going wrong because our minds want to prove ourselves right. So if we're looking for things that are wrong and looking for more things, see, everything's so wrong. The universe goes, yeah, here's more, here's more. Why not look for things that are right? So gratitude is another one of the practices.
So we've
So
got
that's
three now.
three. We've got more. We've got four more.
So what you've answered it just
I know.
my entire list of questions here. Um, living life in your PJs. I absolutely love your definition of PJs. So can you share that with people?
Yes, yes. Okay. So track with us here because I have two main things. I have raising frequency, which is the ultimate, and they definitely overlap. Living life in your PJs, who doesn't like being in their PJs, right? I have two small children, they're 7 and 9, and they love being in their PJs. We all do. We love our PJs. Why? Because we're relaxed. We are our authentic self, unless you're going to a PJ party, in which case you buy a set of PJs to look pretty at the party. I'm not talking about those PJs. I'm talking about the ones that you put them on and you're like, ah, finally, I can take off the masks of the outside world and just be myself and be relaxed. We dream in our PJs. We have fun in our PJs. We're relaxed and cozy. Our nervous systems reset in our PJs.
It's the time when we're really ourselves.
It's really ourselves. We're our authentic selves, right? When it comes down to it, you always go for your coziest, So those are the PJs I'm talking about. Again, not the ones you put on when you have company and you want to look nice. I'm talking about the ones where you're like, ah, me, right? But P stands for purpose and passion, and about seven other P's that I go into in my book. My book is being published by Balboa Press. It'll be out in a couple months. And the J is joy. So what brings you joy? As long as we stay aligned with those things, what we feel is our purpose, having a sense of purpose, passion, what we're passionate about at this time, because too many times we overstay our purpose or our passion. Well, how would I know if I overstay my purpose or passion? Well, burnout turns into like health crises. It's not just burnout because you take time off and you never want to go back. It's like, oh, I have to go. I have to do this. You're shooting on yourself. Basically, you loved something until you didn't, but you stay because you don't know what else to do. So in the book, we talk about ways that you can get realigned with your true passion, which shifts and changes over time. And your purpose can shift and change over time. J is joy. What's bringing you joy? What brings you joy? Follow that. Stay aligned with that. Stay in that space. When we do things that bring us joy, we're naturally in a high frequency state, right? And then J is also just do it. What are you waiting for? Like, what the heck are we waiting for? Oh, I'll do it next year. Why would you wait till next year? I understand there's some strategy here, but don't put it off too long, is basically the J of just do it. And then the real secret of my book, Living Life in Your PJs, How to Stay Aligned with Your Purpose, Passion, and Joy, is the little S that we all forget about. And it's service to others. It's
Hmm.
to remember. It's not to teach us because we all know this. We all came here with a purpose, with a mission. Every person on this planet has a mission. Every person. And that mission has a level of S, service to others, in it. When you can tie your purpose and your passion and your joy in a way that it serves other people, including you, it's the ultimate win. And so that's what the book's about, is like how to find those things. It's a series of reflection questions as we go through different stories, because the PJs, living life in your PJs, and that process I've been using with my patients, my clients, with students for years. I would have somebody come in to see me with a serious health crisis, a chronic health condition. And I would use my tools from Chinese medicine and nutrition. But the real transformation came when we looked at this area. Are you really passionate about what you're doing? Are you forcing yourself to stay somewhere you don't want to be? And now your body's breaking down because you won't move out of this job. So when people started giving themselves permission, that's another P, to pivot.
I ask you
Another
about that.
P,
Yeah.
right. And release the persona that they're holding on to. So those are three other P's we explore. Why don't people change if they don't love it? Why don't they move on? Well, because they're really attached to the identity, the persona. But I'm a lawyer. I don't know what else I would be if I'm not a lawyer. What am I? Well, let's explore that, right? It's like they get really attached to personas, ego. And then permission. Well, my husband would never let me do that. Well, okay, but your husband has his own sandbox. Why are you letting him do yours too, right? Like we all have our own sandboxes here. So it's giving yourself permission and holding on to that, and then pivoting when it's time. And I do believe, and I write about this in the book, like if anybody's listening right now and they're saying, "Oh, East, but you don't know my situation, you don't know my life," and you're right, I don't. But I do know this: when you're meant to leave a situation, you ultimately will. whether you fight it or not. Like I always say, nobody gets off a comfortable couch, which is true. It's like, oh, it's too comfortable. Like, why would I leave this job? I don't love it, but it makes all this money. So if you're meant to leave that job, this higher being, some people call it upper management, God, source, creator, infinite intelligence, divine intelligence. If you're meant to leave, divine intelligence will give you a tower moment, right? A tower is when like life crumbles, you lose the job, you break a finger and you can't perform whatever you're using your hands for. Like if you're meant to leave, you'll be forced out, but it'll be very uncomfortable and very inconvenient. So I always say, do you want it the nice way, the easy way, or the hard way?
Activity seems like there's another P in there for you.
Yeah, it's like when you're meant to leave a certain situation, a job or a situation or whatever, you start to get whispers, taps on the shoulder, then it gets a little louder. And if you don't leave, that's okay. It's okay, right? Don't worry. Keep doing what you're doing. Ultimately, if you're meant to leave, you will. It just won't be the easy way. It will
Mhm.
be the hard way. It'll hurt. It'll be yet another trauma, a crisis. And then you're going to be sitting there going like, why is this happening to me? I don't understand. Until you finally realize that there is an energy, maybe it's yourself, your future self, that loves you so much and knows you better than you even know yourself and is guiding you into a scenario that's better than you can even imagine, but you're fighting it because you want to hold on to what you know. And so it's that releasing, it's like going with it, not giving up. I'm not talking about that because I'm not a giver upper. It's about knowing when to surrender, knowing when to move. And you only get that knowing by sitting with yourself and really knowing yourself, knowing what are your thoughts and what are not your thoughts. So that's why that practice in the 7 day, well, the 50 days to a higher frequency, or the 7 habits that I recommend people do on a daily basis. One of them being sitting in silence or meditating for 10 minutes allows you to know, oh, that's what I feel like. So that when you're out in the world and you're feeling other things. So the PJ's book, I've run like 3 hour workshops where we go through this. I have a program for it where people are guided through this process of finding out, well, I don't even know what my purpose is, East. Like I don't know. I grew up in a family where I was told to do this and I did it. And so in the book and in my program, we go through some questions like, how did you play as a kid? Oh, okay. What do you love to look at? What are you reading about? What podcasts do you listen to? What YouTubes do you watch? Like those are some clues. What major obstacles have you overcome or are overcoming in your life? Because God, source, creator, your higher self would not have given you those challenges if you weren't meant to alchemize them and have them be a gift for you and a way for you to serve others. It's all by design. So we look at, oh yeah, I did overcome. I was overweight as a child. I overcame that, and so now I can help other people lose weight. Oh yeah, that would be really fun for me to show other people that. So that's another clue of what your purpose might be. Some people go to numerology. That's a fabulous tool to see what maybe perhaps the stars aligned in such a way that you have a propensity towards certain careers. That's in the book as well. But anybody can look at numerology if they're trying to find out the purpose. Dan Millman, he wrote a great book called The Life You Were Meant to Live. It's a big, thick book on numerology and your potential purpose in life. So all of this just circles right back to taking the time to work on yourself, whether it's the PJ's process or raising your frequency, it will pay you back in spades. It'll pay you back in a better experience of life. You will find that when you do this kind of work, working on yourself, you don't work on others. It's not like, and this is what I see a lot of people, they start working on themselves and they're like, oh, my husband needs to do this program too. It's like, no, stop it. Stop it. Stay on yourself, not in a selfish way. Like if you just stay here, I'll tell you, the more you work on yourself and the more people see you and go, what are you doing? What's the secret? You want them to come to you, not you go to them and start pushing this on them. It will never happen. You work on yourself, you become a light for others and they start coming to you and saying, "Oh, you just something's different. What's going on? You look so great. Are you getting Botox or this?" No, none of that. I've just been working on myself. I've been raising my frequency.
Can we get back to we've got three. I think we've kind of sort of touched on one of the four, one of the next ones with the
Yeah.
journaling aspects and actually writing down
Yeah.
what's coming through.
Yeah, so journaling. So one of the things I recommend is writing down that gratitude. So expressing gratitude, like writing down gratitude every day. In this program, it comes with this workbook, and you have five. You write down five things, which is not a lot. Every day, you start with like five things for which you're grateful. Okay. The other thing to write down in journal, you can write down anything that any of these, like people will call them downloads, something that dropped into your awareness or that occurred to you during your 10 minutes of meditation or silence or prayer. Write those down. It's really good because you might forget later on what came to you in that state. So that's good. And then in this particular program, it's 50 days, that's 7 weeks. I have a frequency raising assignment, if you will, or a prompt for you to explore on each page of that. You don't have to have this. You could do it yourself. You could literally journal on something in your life that you would love to expand, meaning whether it's wealth, whether it's love, whether it's forgiveness. You just write down, like, let's say you have a hard time forgiving somebody. You can start with that. What is it? What am I holding on to? Where am I benefiting by holding on to this? Is it better to love and be in that frequency or hold on to being right in this situation? You start writing it down and it's almost like it comes to you. So writing is one of the seven things, but in this program, one of the seven things is a frequency raising assignment. So there's seven of those. I love the sevens here, and seven in numerology is spirituality. So we look at awareness, just becoming aware of your choices, where your habits, just becoming aware, allowing yourself to become aware. Stop looking out and start looking at yourself. The second week, and the second thing we look at is your language, because your language is casting spells, right? It's called spelling for a reason because you're saying things, and whatever you say, the universe goes, "You're right." So if you say, "Oh, I'll never get that job," you're right. Or "I'll totally get that job." You're right. There's no good guys out there. You're right. I live in San Diego. There's a bunch of guys out here. You're right. It's like being aware. First, you're aware, and then look at your language. Are you speaking externally language that is keeping you in a certain place? Is low frequency. There are low frequency words. Let's replace them with high frequency words. And then you'll see things shift in your life and also your internal dialogue. What words are you using internally? So, language. Third week is identity. It's looking at the identity. Who are you right now? So, let's say you want to manifest something. You want to create in your life a relationship, but yet you're doing, friends with you have like five boyfriend, girlfriends, friends with benefits. You're doing all these things where you're having hookups and this, but yet at the same time you want to have this serious relationship. That's not an aligned identity. That's not the identity of somebody that has a solid, committed, loving relationship. So first, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. So first you become a frequential match to a loving relationship. So identity work, looking at, I want to become a millionaire. Okay, who do I have to become to be able to hold and not lose that level of wealth? What do millionaires do? What kind of practices are they disciplined? Do they get up? Do they work 40 hours? That sort of thing. So identity is another area to explore. We look at so awareness, language, identity. Releasing, getting rid of things physically, mentally, emotionally that no longer serve you. So I love what Marie Diamond, she's a feng shui master. She says that your home is just a giant vision board. So looking around your house and finding things that bring your frequency down just by looking at them, they got to go, right? Or put them into a closet and making sure that everything around you that's going in and becoming you is of high vibration. So that's the fourth week. And you can write about these things like, oh, I hereby release any beliefs that I'm not lovable or I can't achieve that. Okay, that's four. Five is expansion. Five is looking and saying there's nothing wrong. And this is one of my favorites because we all walk around thinking that there's something wrong. Have you ever said that to yourself? Like, what's wrong with me? I got to fix this. And the idea of expansion is there's nothing wrong with you. Oh my goodness, there's nothing wrong with any of us. We are amazing and perfect as we are. Expansion is a position of saying, great, I love everything I've done. I've learned a lot of things. Maybe wasn't what I would consider perfect in many situations, and that's okay. I'd like to expand beyond this. I want to be a millionaire. Right now, I make, I don't know, $200,000 a year. I'd love to expand beyond the 200,000 versus what's wrong with me? I'm only at 200. I'm like, you see what I'm saying? So it's
Mhm.
expansion. It's looking at how can I look at life as an expansion. It's I don't need anything. I would love it though. I'm happy with everything I have. We take away need from our language. We stop saying, well, I need more money. I need this. I would love this. I would love that. So that's expansion. And then manifestation. It's like if you're really clear on what you want and you stay on it, you inevitably will create that. What happens is we have an idea of what we want and we don't get it instantly. And then we're like, nah, screw it. I want this over here. So it's like the universe can't bring all the particles together in the quantum and then manifest on the physical because you're moving what you want so much. You would not be given a desire if you're not also given the ability to manifest it and co-create it here on the planet. We just don't stay on it long enough. That's it, or consistently enough.
Consistency, focus.
Yeah, so that's part of the journaling of the seven. It's like the high frequency assignments that's in this program. But if somebody just were to explore that in my program, in my 50 days, part of the seven things is to consume personal growth and development. So basically, learn something every day.
Mhm.
Okay. It can be an audible, it could be 20 pages of a personal growth book, it could be how to improve your financial situation, investing. It's basically consuming something that will uh, better you or expand you in the area that you want to expand versus how many of us are scrolling looking up what our exes are doing now or wanting to look up something to prove a point to somebody else that does nothing for us, right? It's like so continuously growing because if you're not growing you're doing the opposite of that. We're meant to grow. So if you were to do that, and my program, this program is very similar to a program called 75 Hard. 75 Hard is kind of a fitness program with a spiritual twist. You work out, you drink a gallon of water, you consume personal growth and development. And so this is similar to that one. It's not 75 days, it's 50, a little more doable. But like that program, that leads me to another of the seven things is movement. Physical movement is crucial for a number of reasons. Our bodies are very smart. Our bodies were created intelligently. There goes my book. And our muscles and our fascia have within them all the chemicals we need to just feel amazing. But we need to open and express, and it's almost like, instead of popping a pill bottle, you can unleash those chemicals inside your body through movement. When you strength train, your physical body gets stronger, your mental, emotional body follows that, and certain hormones and chemicals are literally released in your body to bring a more euphoric state, to balance your serotonin levels. All of that is through movement. So I highly recommend one of the seven things to do every day is to move. Simply walk outside 30 minutes. In my program, we have 30 minutes outside movement, walking, gardening, do whatever, be outside, and then 30 minutes of strength training. Yoga works, squats, push-ups, anything to strengthen and release those latent chemicals within your muscles that can only be done through strength training. And that could be simple squats, push-ups, planks, or go to the gym or get some weights and just do some weights in your office. So that's another one of the seven things is movement. And here's one that's very unique to my program, but I believe it's also part of the magic. So you have the gratitude, you're writing down the things for which you're grateful. But one of the seven habits is to express appreciation to somebody else, at least one person a day. So imagine for 50 days, you think, I'm going to write a letter to my cousin. I'm going to send her an email. I'm going to tell my cousin, "Hey, I just want to thank you for being such a good friend to me as we grew up. I've been thinking about you lately, and I just love all of our laughter from our childhood. And I want you to know that I hold you dear in my heart all those years that you were my bestie at all the family reunions. And this is just for me, just to tell you I'm thinking about you. I love you." And that letter goes out to her. That's it. Then the next day, it could be as simple as I go to Trader Joe's and I look at the same guy I look at every time I go to Trader Joe's and I just say, "You know what? I love your smile. Every time I come in here, you are so upbeat and positive, and I really appreciate that about you." It can be a text message to somebody like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I really appreciate that you took over for me at work when I wasn't there. That really means a lot to me." You do that once a day, okay? Powerful. Powerful in not only the people that receive it, it's powerful because now your reticular activating system is looking for more things to send appreciation for, right? Like, "Oh, I can't wait to tell that person how much I appreciate them," right? That's how you're living your life. You're not living your life like, what's going wrong? How is everybody jerks? You're more looking for how all these people are out there supporting you. You're not alone. And it's just imagine a world where everybody did that. Could you imagine every day, everybody sent one text, email, letter out to one other person just saying, "Hey, thank you for this." Could you imagine what that would feel like? I know receiving those kind of messages mean a lot. Giving them means a lot. And just, I mean, powerful, powerful, powerful. So that's one of the sevens as well.
What's the difference between appreciation and gratitude?
Well, appreciation, they're the same. In this context, you're expressing it, right? So I'm grateful for things, and appreciation to me feels like I appreciate, I recognize the value in something, and I'm going to express it. I guess you could express gratitude to somebody as well. I call it expressing appreciation, just so you know that those are two separate steps. So you write down five things for which you're grateful, and then you express appreciation or gratitude to at least one person every day for 50 days. Try it for seven. Part of this, we're offering anybody listening to this, you go to my website, drreese.com, you get a free download. It's 7 days to a higher frequency. You can get the 50 days to a higher frequency as well. This book is available on my website. I also have a digital program that goes with the workbook, but you can buy the workbook. You can get the free 7 day download. It's basically this book, but for 7 days, it has all the journal prompts. You download it, print it out. Try it for 7 days. Try it for yourself. It's like, see how you feel after 7 days. You really got to try it for yourself.
So,
Yeah.
somebody is feeling burned out, overwhelmed, and they're thinking, where in the world am I going to find the time to do all of this? What would you say to them?
It's super easy. So you could do the 10 minutes of silence. Just set your alarm for 10 minutes early. So you normally wake up at 6, get up at 5:50 and just lay there for 10 minutes. And so you just hit snooze. Most snoozes are 9 or 10 minutes, right? So your alarm goes off, hit snooze, and just sit there and ask. Ask for guidance. Just sit there, see what drops in your awareness. Have your journal next to you. There's your 10 minutes, right? The exercise, I do a lot of work while I'm walking outside. I get outside every day. I mean, there's rarely a day I don't get outside because just getting outside expands us. We get so caught in our bubbles of our office, of our cubicles, of our home that we forget what's going on out there. When I go outside, I will stack. I will be very efficient with my time. So I will listen to personal growth and development as I'm walking outside. Or I'll do emails. I'll be emailing people as I'm walking outside. So I'm getting some of my emails. Maybe there's some phone calls you need to take this day. Do them while you're walking outside. Fitness can be the same way. I have weights in my office. I do weights in between things. Um, so you can make it work. All of these things, journaling, sending an email or a text to somebody takes a second. And then eating, you want to feel better physically and optimally age, eat less often. Skip a meal, right? Like we do eat a lot in this country. We definitely eat more than we need to eat. And so when you're eating healthy, you're not eating out as much. There's plenty of time to do all this stuff. The other magic in the 50-day program, in whether you do it 7 days, maybe you do the 7-day program 3 times, that's 21 days. Maybe 50 isn't your jam. You want to do it for only 21 days. Regardless, there is something magical about stating to yourself, I'm going to do this. And then when, because we all get there to a point in that commitment where we're like, why am I doing this? This is stupid. I'm not going to do it. Nobody cares. Nobody even knows that I'm doing it. But if there's a part of you that goes, no, I'm doing this no matter what, I'm doing it no matter what. And now you're in control. Your ego and your mind is not sabotaging you anymore, which it just does. It has been for years. When you learn how to take control over your mind, there's a great book by Sadhguru called Mind Engineering where he talks about this. Like you learn how to take control of your mind. You say, I'm going to do this, and you do it no matter what. You come out of this way stronger. You're like, and that ego saboteur of you knows that it can't win anymore and it stops. It will eventually just stop trying to sabotage you because it knows you're going to do it. There's something about the magic of it. Like I know when I do the 50-day, I pretty much live the 7 things almost every day. I do create a container of 50 days where I'm strict with it.
Mhm.
And every time I do it, something comes up, a wedding, or we were on vacation in Utah and it was 2 degrees outside. And I told my husband, well, I'm going to go walk around outside for 30 minutes. He's like, really? Do you really have to? I go, yeah, I do. So I literally just walked around the building for 30 minutes and listened to Neville Goddard. And I came in and my husband's like, oh, wow, impressed.
And it's
That's
the
what
commitment.
that's what this work does. People see you not back down. It motivates and inspires them to go, oh, maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to follow through. I like that they're following through, right?
Yeah, there's so many times when um just one simple decision, I'm gonna do this
Yeah.
because I am worth it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And that comes in that awareness. When you sit down and you start to allow yourself to be more aware of some of the things that you're doing, the choices you're making, right? Wow, that's interesting. I tell myself I don't have time to walk outside, but I just spent 30 minutes on Instagram looking at funny reels. Interesting.
Maybe you could be
You know
doing
what I mean?
outside.
Yeah, why don't I do that outside? Yeah, there you go. But yeah, and it doesn't have to be all 7. I just found that these 7 things, when stacked together for 50 days, produces miracles. It produces an expansion of consciousness that I feel is level to psychedelics, that is level to expansion programs like the Gateway. If anybody's ever heard of the Gateway program, it's from the Monroe Institute. It's all about expanding consciousness. They have several conscious expanding programs. I've done 4 of them. And what I found is that you do that for 6 days. You do these meditations with binaural beats and hemisync music, sound science, puts your brain into a certain state, and you have all these epiphanies. But what I found is doing this, you start to have some similar experiences without having to go and spend thousands on a retreat and go be somewhere for 2 weeks or a week. You do this in your own life, and then it's sustainable. You never go back. Once you start doing this, it's like after you finish a 50-day or even a 7-day, it just continues to ripple out into your life even after you've done it. It's interesting. I have people that did a 50-day in January emailing me every day saying things like, my body's still really fit and ripped just from the 50 days that I did in January. It's amazing. And it's a higher frequency, and the program's called Elevate, not from a standpoint of like better, because there's judgment there. It's equivalent to if we were to go up to the top of a mountain and look down, we can see a lot more of what's going on.
I love that analogy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's really what we're doing. We're elevating our, yep, we're expanding our consciousness to include the unseen, things that maybe our higher self knows, but our egoic 3D humanness doesn't know or doesn't remember. So we expand to remember what we already know. We expand to raise our frequency so we can see things from a higher vantage point and see, like back in the day when I used to do Chinese medicine, people used to ask me, like, well, how is this going to help me get out of stress? And I said, well, right now, you're like living your life in New York City, walking around with taxis and Ubers and ride shares and everybody screaming and yelling at you and traffic. And it's like scary, right? It's like, you can't really enjoy New York City. But if I take you up into one of the high rises and you get to see how beautiful the city is laid out and you just see the traffic and the flow, but you're not in it, is gorgeous. And you're sitting there with a cocktail or a mocktail or just relaxing and looking at it all. It's so enjoyable, isn't it? So when we elevate our frequency, when we expand our consciousness, that's what life feels like. It feels like we're up in that high rise, looking down on all the crazy chaos, but we're not in it. And it's not affecting us. And our shoulders aren't up like this, and we're not stressed out, and we're not yelling absurdities at everybody, right? We're more like, wow, oh, interesting. Isn't that interesting? Look at those patterns. Interesting. Yeah.
So, I have loved this conversation. You have one thing that you would leave people with, what would you tell them?
So good. I have so many things. I mean, the
Just,
cliche, I
just
know the cliche thing. I'm gonna say, I have a bunch. I'm gonna say this. Keep shining your light.
beautiful.
Keep shining your light. Find out what your light is and shine the shit out of it. Like just shine it. Shine it, shine it, shine it, because we're all unique. We're not meant to be the same. We look at all these people, oh, I want to be more like that. I want to be the next Oprah. No, be the you.
You.
Oprah's taken. We don't need another Oprah. We need you. We need all of you. Because we're all this big, beautiful cosmic jigsaw puzzle. And if one piece is missing from the puzzle, it's like, oh, it's like it's bothersome. We need everybody to shine their light, be themselves, live their most authentic self, give themselves the permission to be that. It just feels so much better that way, inside, externally, being around you. And yeah, shining your light is definitely one of the big ones.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
We
thank
will
you for
have a link
having me.
right down here so that people can grab their own copy of the 7-day Elevate program.
Yep.
And thank you. It's
Thank
been
you for having me. Looking forward to, and anybody that does the 7 days, just email me, East at Dr. East. It's all written out, DOCTOR. I love getting feedback. I get it daily of people saying, I did the challenge, whether it's the 7 or the 50. I just love hearing the miracles, the expansion, and your experiences with the program. Love it. And with the work. It's your work.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Hello again. I wanted to just pop in and let you know about not just one, but two special ways that you can continue your journey of calm, renewal, and creativity after the summit. Both of these gifts are designed to help you connect more deeply with yourself, with your community, and with your body's natural ability to thrive. Just pick the one that speaks mostly to you or choose both. So option one, I am inviting you to join me for the 2 live sessions of Connect the Dots to Calm, formerly Tangle with Sarah, that are happening in October. Session 1 is Thursday, October 9th at noon Pacific time, and session 2 is Thursday, October 23rd, also at noon Pacific time. Come and join us, get to experience what it's like to do some Zentangle practice together in a group of people, experience the calm that comes from making simple marks on a piece of paper. It sounds so bizarre, but it is one of the best ways I know of creating some calm in your system. I can feel the tension draining out of my body as I do my Zentangle practice. So no strings attached opportunity for you to come and spend some time with me and the other members of the group, and find out what it's like. Option 2, join me and my good friend Eve Colantonley for the Quantum Blood Upgrade Masterclass. Eve will be telling us how we can clean our blood and use some specific plant extracts to do that and achieve some really interesting healing results. I had never heard of cleaning your blood before. How in the world does that happen? But Eve will explain everything and share some results that other people have been experiencing. So that is happening on Tuesday, let me see, Tuesday, October 7th, again at noon Pacific time. So if either one of both those, or maybe even both of them, appeal to you, then please fill out the form just below, or click the link below, and there's a form that you can fill out. You can choose one, you can choose both, and I hope to see you there.